Hello and welcome to the Cobalt Retro Shop. Having an amazing day. I've got a PlayStation 1 in front of me today, and I fully intend on fixing it. We'll see what happens. So, excuse the mess. I've been working on another PlayStation that's being delayed, hence working on this one as of filming. So, we're gonna boot this thing up and see what happens. Oh, that's a great start. Absolutely nothing but a green LED. Alright, let's tear this thing apart and see what's going on inside. This one has an I/O parallel port cover. This one's older than the one I was working on earlier. These newer consoles do not have that. Oh! Someone's been in here! Oh boy! That would be part of the problem. This connector was entirely ripped off. That's going to be fun to fix. I don't even know if this assembly works, though. That's a good question. Oh, and there's no plastic thing over here. I don't know if all of the PlayStation 1s are supposed to have, like, a plastic holder thing for the power and the disk drive. But this one clearly doesn't have it. Doesn't look like it's meant to have it. So that's something. So, judging by the fact that this thing just was receiving power but wasn't seemingly turning on, I'm willing to bet that PlayStations don't boot without a CD drive present. I don't remember all of this copper and stuff being on the newer system. Oh, yep, this one's missing a screw. Two screws. Now I'm starting to wonder if these ports are supposed to have two screws, but if they weren't, the plastic wouldn't be molded so that it does have two screws. So that's that. I believe this is the mechanism that the PlayStation uses to see whether or not the drive is open. Other than this glaring problem here, I believe this board actually looks pretty good. And seal this up. This is part of the reason why I wanted something more like a tackle box rather than just a mat to keep my screws. I want to be able to relocate these without losing things. It's about 8 times zoom. That doesn't look super great, but that'll work. Just to make sure that there's enough so that I can actually solder this thing. Okay, soldering is a little bit difficult when you don't have a lot of fancy tools, but it should still, in theory, be doable. Whew. Okay, steady your hand. Steady your hand. Oh boy. That did not go as planned. Let's overdo it on the solder here a little bit. Alright, that's pin number 1. Okay. Ooh, that's good, huh? Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, what do you say? At least they're on there. Okay, I started dealing with a bridge on the other side. As there we go. So, normally with something like this, I'd recommend using Solaric or something along those lines. And I do have Solaric. Just, I don't know where it is right now. So, I'm just gonna wing it, basically. So I just found my solder sucker. This isn't ideal for this kind of application, but it should work. So what I'm doing here is this connector here isn't on in a great way. So I want to desolder it so I can get it lined up more correctly. Okay, the legs are still intact. Cool. Uh-oh. I took off pads. Of course I took off pads. Oh, this is a junk system now. Okay, well, I'm still going to release this as a Cobalt Retro Tech video. Let's just call this how to not desolder a ribbon cable holder. Okay. Yeah. This PlayStation is now, unfortunately, a parts PlayStation. This PlayStation is now, unfortunately, a parts PlayStation, as there's nothing I can do about this anymore. So, we'll just set this aside and have that be 4 parts. Well, you can't win them all. Unfortunately, there's going to be some sacrifices in the pursuit of learning this kind of stuff. However, I still think the video was vaguely entertaining, so I might as well release it. At any rate, thank you for tuning into this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you want to support me a little bit more directly, I have a bunch of stuff linked in the description below, such as some pretty cool music that I've written, the Cobalt Retro Shop, which may or may not have some items up right now, and the Patreon page that starts at $1 a month. Speaking of the patrons, I do have to thank my Kilo supporter, Indian Mac, for helping make Cobalt Retro Tech possible. Thank you. With all that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one.